Hey, this is Mike. I'm here at Grand Strand Nissan in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Victor hooked me up with these two vehicles to show you the difference. This is the Nissan Versa, and there is the Nissan Sentra. And these two vehicles are, I try to get as close to the same as far as features as I possibly could. Now this one has the fog lights and the alloy wheels, which the Sentra does not. So, but that's as close as I can get. But anyway, they're the same color and everything. Now the Versa, you can get one like this red one here with the hatchback there. So there's two different body styles, but I'm focusing on the sedan because that is the closest thing to the Sentra. So like say if you don't know and you just happen to pull into Grand Strand Nissan and you're looking at these two vehicles, you may just like, well, I mean, they look pretty close. I mean, there might be slight body style differences or something like that, but there is, quite a few differences. The Versa is cheaper, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has. I mean, there's some stuff on the Versa that the Sentra just doesn't have. So it's kind of interesting there. But the Sentra is we'll go into all the details. It has a little bit more room, slightly bigger vehicle, but as you will see, there is advantages and disadvantages to those things. Exhaustive, detailed list of everything, every little detail that's different in these two vehicles. But I wanted to do just like my first impression, just to show you the vehicles, just a walk around here, because just right off the bat, you can notice, we'll start here in the back, that the Nissan Sentra has the LED taillights and the Versa does not. So right off the bat I can see a difference there. Now the Versa has a spoiler and the Sentra does not. The Sentra has an optional spoiler if you want it. So that's interesting there. One plus for the Versa to me is that the fuel door is on the driver's side. On the Sentra, it's on the passenger side. Got to walk around the vehicle to put gas in it. That may be a plus or negative depending on which your preferences are. Also, noticing here that the Versa has an external antenna, the little antenna there at the top. This one has it built into the glass. There's advantages and disadvantages to those things, and those you cannot change. So so that's these are things to consider. Now the Versa has a slightly smaller engine. I'll go into all that stuff too, with the wheelbase, the width of the cars, the width of the tires, all that good stuff. But let's quickly look at the Versa. This is a smaller vehicle, like I said. So if you haven't seen my complete walk around video on this vehicle, you can check it out. I'm just going to basically get in it and just kind of show you the way I sit in this vehicle. Now this is a smaller vehicle compared to the other one. So like my leg kind of rests right here on the side of the door, but on the right side I've got lots of room there because there's no console in the way. So where I'm losing as far as the width of the vehicle, I'm gaining some room there just because they don't have the console in the way. And they're both Nissan, so the fit and finish is going to be outstanding. They both have the cloth seats and everything. This one doesn't have the storage, any kind of storage bins up here. But I like the way this is down low. There's plenty of knee room there, and that's a big thing for me. Let's take a look here. You got your cup holders back there, plus you have some up there, and they're kind of out of the way of the knee room. Let's see what the gauges look like. So they're illuminated, backlit illuminated, and then you've got some digital portions there in the center, and then when you turn it off, it's all black. Got some controls here on the steering wheel. You do have Bluetooth and a lot of standard features as far as that goes. The key does not have the immobilizer system. Now that might be a plus for some people that don't want to have expensive replacement keys. So in the Versas, that's not even an option to have the immobilizer system. So you don't have to program them, for what I understand. That's a plus for some people, might be a minus for others. It's got a massive glove compartment, that's for sure. Alright, so let's do the same thing in the other vehicle. Alright, so the Sentra, let's get in here. See what it looks like. Alright, so my left knee is resting on the door as well. And I mean, there is a pretty good amount of room for my right knee, probably owing to the fact that it is a wider vehicle, but eventually it comes, rests on that center console. So, if you're really tall or something, the center console might be an issue. I mean, to me, it's not that bad, really. I'm glad they made it wider. You got pretty much the same steering wheel. You do have the overhead place for your sunglasses, that kind of stuff. Pretty much the same seats. You do have 2 cup holders there. You have an armrest there. Got a little power supply there. And this one has the immobilizer system. I think it's an option, or maybe, I'm not sure. We'll find out before the end. I'll let you know all that good stuff. But let's start it up and see what the gauges are. Okay, so you notice they do have an illumination to them, but when you turn it off, you can still see them. You can still see the numbers and stuff, so they're not completely blacked out. And you notice this one has the, like an eco mode, where it tells you where the range of acceleration. When you rev it up when you're driving, you'll see a little bar there, but some of the features there that are available. This one also has sport mode, which is not available in the Versa. Seems like the visibility is about the same. The height of the ceiling is about the same. I don't feel any more cramped or anything. Now, from what I understand, there's a little bit more insulation in the Sentra over the Versa, so it's a little bit quieter ride, and all that good stuff. So let's take a look at the front design and the side design. So you can see, let's just kind of look here at the side of the car, and you can kind of tell, hopefully you can tell, that there is a little bit different shape to the vehicles. This one's more of a smaller hood on the Versa versus the Sentra. But to me, just looking at the Versa, it gives a little bit of a sportier looking design on this one versus the Sentra. And that's just my, me looking at it. The way the headlights are shaped, this is more kind of a standard shape, and this is more kind of aggressive looking, or not, I don't really like that term with cars, but it has like more of a sporty look, and it looks like it has a bigger deflector too, but maybe just an optical illusion. The Versa is cheaper, about $2,000 cheaper starting out. Of course, you can add a bunch of stuff. The Sentra, you can add more stuff. So if you want to have a vehicle that's closer to an Altima, then but you don't necessarily want to spend all the money for an Altima, the Sentra might be a good option for you. If you're looking for some good reliable transportation, and you're more focused on price and not all the fancy features, then the Versa might be the better option. It's completely up to you. Now you can see here that the Nissan Versa has a little bit narrower tire and wheel than the Sentra. The Sentra has a wider, more stable tire. And to me, that's a little bit of a plus for sure on the wider tire. And that way you get a little bit more of more stability on a highway speeds, especially with a little bit wider wider stance on the road with the addition of those tires there. Now this tire won't make too much of a difference in your just a daily commute if you're not going super highway speeds, say 55 or less. You probably won't notice that much of a difference. Now if you're cornering aggressively, or if you're on wet roads and stuff like that, the wider tire might help out in those scenarios. Depending on your speed and the way you drive and all that, may give you an advantage to have the wider tire. The Versa here has a smaller hood, and also I noticed that it has a little tiny prop here to prop the hood, and it's in a kind of a strange spot, and which it is secure on this metal right here, so it's not on the hood. I've seen some other vehicles, other manufacturers have a short prop like that, but they mount it on the inside of the hood, which eventually bends the hood. So this right here is pretty much foolproof design as far as not bending the hood and also keeping the hood up. So I think that's adequate. It's just a little bit different. This one has a full-size prop here, but it comes down from the top. It's actually stored up in the hood, and then you swing it down and hook it down here. Okay, now for the laundry list of differences between the Nissan Versa and the Nissan Sentra. Now I'm comparing the Nissan sedan, the Versa sedan 1.6 SV versus the 2015 Nissan Sentra S. And so some of these are going to be slightly different depending on what options you have, but this is a very common comparison here, the SV on the Versa versus the Sentra S. Because now starting off, the price is $15,530 starting price, base price on the Versa, and for the Sentra it's $17,330. Alrighty, and the combined fuel economy, we have a winner on the Versa side with 35, and the Sentra is just slightly below at 33. They both have a fully galvanized steel body material. The grille on the Versa is black with chrome surround, and the grille on the Sentra is a metal look with chrome surround. So black on one side, kind of metal, like a matte metal on the other side. They both are four-door vehicles. They both have trunks. They both have the ability, like power side mirrors, driver and passenger. Neither one of them have a heated mirror. Now the rear spoiler on the Versa sedan SV does have a standard little lip, is what it's called, spoiler on the back of the trunk, and on the Sentra it's optional. The antenna is integrated in the little antenna that sticks out on the roof, and on the Versa and on the Sentra it's integrated into the back window. Alright, they both have front and rear bumper that are body colored. They both have halogen headlights. The exterior lights, like the headlights, are fully automatic on the Sentra, and that's not even available on the Versa. Okay, so there is a headlight delay standard on the Sentra, not available on the Versa. LED brake lights are standard on the Sentra, not available on the Versa. They both have manual air conditioning. The Sentra has actually a cabin air filter that's not available on the Versa. Alrighty, they both have power door locks, remote keyless entry, front and rear power windows, but the window control on the Sentra, the driver can have the express up and down. On the Versa, it's just express down, not up. Neither one of them have remote engine start. Alrighty, let's see here. Both have cruise control, beverage holders, cup holders. Now the Sentra has two power supply, 12-volt power supplies, and the Versa only has one. The Sentra has the overhead console storage, basically where you put your Hollywood sunglasses, and the Versa doesn't even have that available. They both have glove compartments, vanity mirrors, and tilt steering wheel. Now the telescoping steering portion of the steering wheel adjustments is available on the Sentra, but not available on the Versa. All right, they both seat 5. They both have a 6-way seat direction control on the driver's seat. They all manually recline all the seats. The passenger is a 4-way adjustments on both vehicles, and it is a manual seat. Now the front driver armrest on the Versa is a standard feature. Now it folds down from the side of the seat. The center armrest, basically for both the driver and passenger to put their arm on, which people refer to as a console, is not available on the Versa, and is standard on the Sentra. Alrighty, and the rear armrest is not available on the Versa, but it's standard on the Sentra. The rear head restraints are adjustable on the Versa, but not adjustable on the Sentra. They both have the AM/FM CD player. They both have auxiliary inputs, MP3 decoder, external digital memory control, steering wheel audio controls. They both have 4 speakers standard. Now you can upgrade the Sentra with a Bose system. That's not available on the Versa. Alright, neither one of them have like a SOS emergency system. Now they both do have Bluetooth. They both have dome lights that fade. They both have illuminated entry, front reading lights. Now the Sentra has a standard illuminated glove box, and the Versa is just a no light at all in the glove box. It's just dark. Now the windshield wipers on the Sentra are variable intermittent. So basically you can adjust how fast or slow the intermittent part of the windshield wipers are. The Versa is fixed intervals. The rear defroster standard on both vehicles. The window tint is it's just light, no window tint on the glass. The instrumentation display is digital and analog on the Versa, and then analog on the Sentra. They both have tachometers, engine temperature gauge, low fuel warning lights, tire pressure warning lights. They have that. Now there's a maintenance reminder on the Versa, but not the Sentra. The Sentra does not tell you when it's time to change the oil, which the Versa will. They both have neither one of them have a driver information center. They do tell you the exterior temperature. They do have an in-radio clock display. They both have an optional compass. Trip computer is standard. And they, all right, let's go down here. So horsepower on the engine. So on the Versa is 109 horsepower at 6,000 RPMs, and on the Sentra it is 6,000 RPMs. 130 at 6,000 RPMs. So 109 versus 130. Torque 107 on the Versa, but that's at 4,400 RPMs. 128 on the Sentra, that's at 3,600 RPMs. They both have struts in the front suspension, torsion beams in the rear suspension, electric power assist on the steering activation, and so that's really handy on both. That's a plus for both vehicles. So when you're driving slow, you can still easily turn the steering wheel, and then it just kind of self-adapts to where it's perfect the way you need it. They both have rack and pinion steering. They both have standard speed sensitive steering, which I was talking about with the electric part. And they both have front disc and rear drum brakes. The tires on the Versa are 15-inch standard and 16 on the Sentra. They both have, the base model has the steel wheels with the hubcaps, but of course you can always upgrade to the alloy wheels. Now the wheel the wheel width is 6.5 on the Sentra, and that's a good plus there compared to the 5.5 on the Versa. So it's a little bit narrower tire there. 1 inch makes a difference on stability on the highway, at least in my experience. Alright, so the 1.8 liter is the bigger engine in the Sentra and versus the Versa 1.6 liter. They both are 4 cylinders. They both have a dual overhead cam. They both use regular unleaded fuel, front wheel drive. They both have a CVT Xtronic transmission. No sequential shift control on neither one of them. They both have standard passenger and front impact airbags. They have seat mounted side impact airbags, passenger side impact airbags on the seat. They also both have side curtain airbags for first and second row. They have side impact beams on both. They both have, in the front, they have height adjustable seat belts on both vehicles. They have pre-tensioners on the seat belts on both vehicles in the front. ABS four-wheel ABS on both vehicles. They both have brake assist, traction control system on both of them. They have the VDC stability control on both of them. Standard panic alarm on the key fob. Vehicle security system is not available on either one. And the vehicle immobilizer system is standard on the Sentra, but not available on the Versa. They both have child safety rear door locks as well. Now the fuel tank on the Sentra is 13 gallons, and on the Versa it's only 11, so it's a little bit difference there. The curb weight on the Sentra is 28.54. The curb weight on the Versa is 24.68. So that might be a little bit extra weight is a plus for some people. They feel like they're a little bit more stable because they have more weight, weighing them down. But it might contribute to a little bit less fuel economy, which the Sentra does have a little bit less. So the exterior length on the Sentra is 182 inches, and the exterior length of the Versa is 175, so it's slightly shorter. The body width on the Versa is 66.7, and then you got on the Sentra 69.3, so it is slightly wider as well. And the exterior body height is 59.6 on the Versa and 58.9 on the Sentra. Now, so just by eyeballing it, the Sentra and the Versa look almost identical. I guess it's not much of a difference, but it is. The Versa is slightly higher off the ground. The roof is slightly higher. The wheelbase 106.3 on the Sentra, 102.4 on the Versa, which gives you a little bit better ride with a longer wheelbase. Even a small difference, a few inches do make a big difference when you're going 80 miles an hour or whatever you're driving on the highway. The front track, basically the width of the tires, not the width of the vehicle, is 60.2 inches wide on the Sentra and 58.3 on the Versa. So you got a little bit extra width. You also have wider tires. A little bit heavier vehicle can contribute, and longer wheelbase can contribute to a better highway ride. And same thing, the rear track as far as the width of the wheels are basically the same thing. Turning radius 17.4 feet on both vehicles. Interior cargo volume is 15.1 on the Sentra, but only 14.9. Not much of a difference there on the interior cargo volume. And a little bit surprising there, considering one is a little bit bigger than the other. So The front legroom is 42.5 on the Sentra, 41.8 on the Versa. Not too big of a difference there. Rear legroom is almost identical at 37.4 on the Sentra and 37 on the Versa. The front headroom and rear headroom basically identical. Front hip room is 50.9 on the Sentra, 48.1 on the Versa. So the hip room is slightly narrower there. It's hard to really tell, I guess, because that console design kind of helps hide that difference in size. And the rear hip room is 46.2 on the Versa and 50.1 on the Sentra. Front shoulder room, you've got 54.7 on the Sentra and 51.9 on the Versa. Rear shoulder room, 51.9 on the Versa, 53.9 on the Sentra, a little bit more on the room on the Sentra there. Passenger volume, just the total passenger volume is 96 and cubic feet, and 90 that's on the Sentra, and the Versa has 90. All right, and they both have the identical warranties from the factory and all that. All right, there you have it. 2015 Nissan Versa versus the 2015 Nissan Sentra. And I guess it really depends on your personal situation and your preferences. If you are, my recommendation would be, if you are out on the highway and you're driving at very high speeds, over 65, and you're going through, long distances regularly, then I would definitely lean towards the Sentra, because of the longer wheelbase, the wider tires, the wider stance, the slightly wider room. You can also get a nicer radio for a long ride. You want a nice radio, so you can get the Bose system, stuff like that. You can also put your sunglasses in there. If you have passengers, they have a cup holders in the back with the armrest, stuff like that, and a little bit peppier engine too. So, that's what I would lean towards. Not definitively, but I would lean in that direction. There's a couple things here on the Versa. One is, if you want a hatchback, they've got that option. Okay, Sentra does not. So the Versa has that option. You also have, the sedan version as well. Now, another thing is, if you're looking at just purely price, you can get a manual transmission Versa extremely cheap. I mean, extremely cheap. Basic transportation. Now, it is going to have all the safety features of a modern 2015 vehicle. There's a lot of standard stuff on there, but you can get a really, really inexpensive vehicle with the Nissan Versa. Now, that's one plus there. Another plus is, if you're just looking for a vehicle, like say you have a short commute, or if you have a commute that doesn't involve, you like city driving mostly and stop and go traffic, and you're not out on the highway for hours on end, and you want something really good on gas, and it's not going to save you a few $1,000s, that might put you in a payment range that you need to be in. So the Versa really is an option for that, and I mean, it's not a bad vehicle at all. So both of them really have their plus and minuses. As far as that goes, they're both a plus in my book. Either one of them would be great for me, but I really like the fact that they have these two vehicles, and to me they're fairly close as far as the price. There's a difference in price, a couple $1,000s in price. There is some more premium options on the Sentra versus the Versa, but really it's something that I would definitely have to think about, because they are similar price range, especially when you have a Versa with some options on it versus a base model Sentra. And also the gas mileage, the price, the Versa's has got that. The Sentra's got the little bit better highway ride. So I don't know, it's up to you. You tell me. You tell me which one you think is better, which one you actually bought, if you actually bought one of these, and why you decided one over the other, if you even considered one over the other. So just let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate your feedback on this video, and try to give you as much. I know there's a lot of detail in there, but you know, hopefully it's worth it. If you're about to make a, you know, $15,000-$20,000 decision, you know, it's worth to spend a little bit extra time kind of doing the research, and that's why I'm doing this for you. I do not work for Grand Strand Nissan. I really like Grand Strand Nissan. Victor here is amazing. So if you want to do business with the Nissan, if you see any Nissan vehicles, please consider them in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But I don't work for Nissan, I work for you. And I just wanted to mention that because I really need your help with, if you can send me a tip, that helps me cover the expenses and time for doing these videos for you, to help you out in your decision making. So anyways, I appreciate you watching, and like I said, please comment, let me know what you decide, what you think, your thoughts, anything at all. Please leave it in the comments, and I'll see you next time.